how did I wind up becoming a libtard? Very simple answer: by being a conservative. I know that sounds strange, but when I started paying attention to politics, when I became an adult, it was a common saying: if it's none of my business, it's none of the government's business. Why do I support gay rights? Because if you're a freeborn American, you can sleep with anybody you want to. It's none of my business, and it's none of the government's business. Gay marriage? Government should have left the marriage business in the 50s, but people who called themselves conservatives decided to play with the tax code and give an advantage to married people. So now it's the government's business. Never should have been, shouldn't be now.
Conservatives killed Jesus, but now they act like Jesus was a conservative. Conservatives don't want universal health care. Conservatives don't want to expand the education system. Why? Because that changes things and it opens up the country for the power structures to change. And that's why the majority of Republicans are white. So, I mean, there's really nothing to talk about here. It's just a fear of change. Conservatism in a lot of ways is just part of human nature. And so when conservatives talk about, their principles, small government, staying out of people's business, when you look throughout history, all conservatism really is people trying to keep progress from happening, people trying to keep whatever the status quo is in place. So in many ways, conservatism is just keeping whatever the powers that be in power. Conservatives didn't want monarchies to end. They fought for kings and queens to stay in power. Conservatives fought the bloodiest war in American history to keep slavery alive. Conservatives didn't want to integrate schools. They wanted to keep segregation alive. Conservatives, don't want gay people to get married. Conservatives are obsessed with transgender people. They don't want transgender people to be regular citizens in society. They want them to remain persecuted.
Transgender rights. You want to swap out your genitals? It's none of my business. It's none of the government's business. A lot of people love to throw up, oh, well, they're mutilating children. Never had anybody show me an example of that. Puberty blockers today are actually pretty common because people don't want their 10-year-old daughters getting pregnant. Never heard of a single case of somebody actually doing genital reassignment surgery on a kid. Nonsense. So, again, the conservative answer should be none of my business. And it's not. And it just keeps going down the list. I'm a conservative because I believe in freedom. One of the reasons I changed parties was the Patriot Act. You think what happened at Mar-a-Lago a couple of weeks ago was fun? You should have seen what conservatives authorized them to be able to do. That was nothing compared to what the Patriot Act allows.
Oftentimes what'll happen, and we talk about this all the time, and because we see it in our lives when conservatives, something will happen to them personally, and then they'll have a change of heart about whatever that might be. For instance, the Roe v. Wade situation, as I've talked about, is conservatives face the horror stories as well, where, maybe some of their daughters get raped, incest, whatever it may be. And it's like, no, we can't, we really don't want this 11-year-old girl to have a baby. And then their state's like, well, that's too bad. You know what I'm saying? Or, maybe their daughter or their wife or a sister has some type of a pregnancy that just isn't viable. And their state's like, well, that's too bad. She's got to die. Then they're like, oh, well, I didn't really think this was a problem because I didn't think it would be my problem. And now that it's my problem, so that's what we have to deal with all the time, which is why, trying to work with Republicans and trying to, have bipartisanship across the aisle doesn't make sense because these people fundamentally don't believe in change. They need to work with us. We don't need to work with them. That's the bottom line.
It just keeps going on down the line. Racial issues. This is a country of equality. If some people aren't equal, that's a problem. That should be a conservative value. Why is it associated with liberals? It shouldn't be. So, why am I a flaming liberal? Because I'm a conservative. Oh, and I forgot one, taxes. Tax and spend Democrats. Difference in spending between Democrats and Republicans is next to nothing and actually favors the Democrats. The Republicans spend far more money. Difference is Democrats want to charge enough taxes to actually pay the bill, where conservatives want to borrow it from China. That's not a conservative position. Conservative position should be the government needs to balance its checkbook. not I want all the goodies and I don't want the bill. That's how I became a liberal, by not being a liberal.
Well, that's why at this point, I really don't have any tolerance or patience for Republicans. Not now. Not with everything that we need to do, not with everything that the Republican Party is actively doing. People are always in my inbox because I don't know if you follow me on Twitter. If you follow me on Instagram, you know the type of shit I be talking on there is in my stories. You know what's up. They be in my inbox and they be like, Jackson, we want to encourage people to come together. Like, I'm not coming together with these fools. I'm not coming together with these idiots, these people who fundamentally don't believe in reality and who fundamentally are against my friends and family. I'm not coming together with these people. No, 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 no. We need to defeat these people. We need to beat these people. That's what it's about. We need to make the world a better place, which they are fundamentally against doing. So, no, we don't need to come together with them. We need to defeat them. And that includes conservative Democrats. That includes anybody who's in the way of progress. They need to be defeated. And that's the type of mindset that we need to have.